Testing, testing. Good morning. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats at this time. Our program is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have you join us this morning to celebrate the incredible achievements of women in STEM. Ladies and gentlemen, live from STEM City, USA, and Huntington Place in Detroit. Welcome to the 29th Annual Women of Color STEM Conference. This event is brought to you by our conference co-hosts, Apple and Women of Color magazine, and our conference co-sponsors, Google and RTX. Please silence your phones for the duration of the program. Please remain in your seats. Photography and video is prohibited. Photos will be available after the event at ccgmag.smugmug.com. Now, let's meet the host and moderator of today's special event. She's a force in the world of cross-cultural communications with a wealth of experience. As the founder and CEO of Trans-Pacific Communications, she spent over 20 years coaching, consulting, and media training, helping organizations break cultural barriers and unlock their full potential of their diverse teams. Please join me in welcoming the highly sought after and communications trailblazer, Dottie Lee.
Good morning. How are you all? Oh, come on. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Are you having fun? I love that. It's truly an honor to stand before such an extraordinary minds and innovators today. For women of color in STEM, leaders and legends are more than just names. They are powerful symbols. They're the ones who have guided us through the ever-evolving landscape of technology, whose stories resonate like familiar voices, comforting us during times of challenge and pushing us to aim higher, dream bigger, and break boundaries we once thought were impossible. As we gather this morning, we not only honor these pioneering women, but celebrate the countless others who continue to drive innovation in STEM. Their achievements leave us in awe. Their resilience fuels our determination, and their example challenges us to step forward with courage as we navigate the tides of technological transformation, whether in AI, space exploration, or groundbreaking discoveries yet to come. So today, let us marvel at the heights they've reached, and most importantly, let their courage embolden us to chart our own courses into the future. The journey ahead is full of promise, and these remarkable women have shown us the way with confidence, passion, and unyielding belief in what's possible. Before we dive into today's award presentations, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the invaluable support of our long-standing partners. Their dedication has made today's celebration possible. So please turn your attention to the screen for a special message from Apple.
Open a door, and it opens all the others. Open a mind and see what happens next. No great thing, no beautiful invention was created in a vacuum. It happens when we leave our comfort zone and come together. Embrace faiths, cultures, disabilities, differences. Embrace races, ages, ideologies, personalities, creating a tool or device nobody saw coming. Humanity is plural, not singular. The best way the world works is everybody in, nobody out. So who we're made of is everyone. Differences not just celebrated, but essential. Many more women in charge. Equal pay for equal work everywhere. A new generation of Apple, more diverse than the one that came before. Open is not just who we are, but what we believe as a company. Because humanity isn't singular, it's plural. The truth is, we don't see things the same. The power is, we don't see things the same.
Thank you, Apple, for those inspiring words. Now, let's meet our first two award recipients, who will be presented by Chrissy Tom, Senior Vice President and General Manager, Americas East Jacobs.
Well, good morning, everyone. Today, we're honoring an exceptional leader whose career and achievements stand out even among a distinguished group of super achievers. The Special Recognition Award is presented to individuals who have demonstrated exceptional talent, drive, and impact. This award celebrates those who have made remarkable strides and significant contributions in their fields, setting them apart in a company of the nation's best performers in technology. Our first honoree, Shandace Richardson Arledge, is the Vice President of Growth and Sales Operations for Jacobs Federal and Environment Business Unit. With over 22 years of experience, Shandace leads a global team responsible for converting 2,000 proposals into $1 billion in revenue each year, driving double-digit growth. Her strategic vision and execution have not only quadrupled digital sales year to date, but also advanced technical excellence within her organization. Shandace's influence extends far beyond her corporate role. She has taught leadership in Honduras, studied women business owners in South Africa, and helped launch the Chatham Marconi Maritime Center. A champion for STEM and mental health, Shandace is a lifetime member of the Society of American Military Engineers and a former National Society of Black Engineers leader. Her accolades are numerous, including the Principal Leadership Award and the Executive Leadership Council Ann Fudge Young Business Leader Award. Please join me in congratulating Shandace Arledge.
My veins course with the DNA of my grandmothers, who were prayer-warring matriarchs, my parents and godparents, who modeled undeniable work ethic. I thank God for gifts of resilience, a desire to grow, dynamic mentors, a husband and kids who make the future bright, and opportunities to shine in STEM. 1 Corinthians says, "In a race, runners run, but one obtains the prize. Run that you may obtain it." I challenge all to discover and lean into your innate and differentiated abilities and go obtain your prize. My heart overflows with appreciation to the women of color for this recognition. Thank you.
We're waiting for the next cue. Here we go. We're surrounded by brilliance today, and the excitement has only just begun. It's my pleasure to introduce our next presenter. Please welcome Xavier Beal, Vice President, Human Resources and Trades Administration, HII.
Good morning. As Director of Business Integration at HII, Dr. Sandhya Christian's remarkable career is a testament to her unwavering commitment to excellence and her passion for empowering others. She has led major projects, including a $60 million implementation in material handling and training, and has driven talent management strategies that attract, develop, and retain top talent in her field. Dr. Christian's experience spans supply chain management, finance, operations, and business development, making her a true force in the STEM community. Her servant leadership, guided by faith, centers on humility, empathy, uplifting others. As a champion for women in STEM, she creates opportunities and advocates for barrier breakers. Today, we celebrate her remarkable contributions and recognition among America's top technology performers. Please join me in honoring my colleague and friend, Dr. Sandhya Christian.
Good morning. Faith, perseverance, and determination are the pillars of my life. I would like to start by thanking the Women of Color Committee for this prestigious award. Thank you to my HII family. I'd also like to thank my parents for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself. And most importantly, to my husband, James, for your love and your continued support throughout my career. I am so grateful to have a partner in life and in ministry with your strength and resilience. Lastly, I want to thank my friends, my family, friends, and coworkers for their support and encouragement. I am very humbled and honored to receive this special recognition. To all women, we must always remember that all things are possible with faith, hard work, and our power to push through our setbacks, trials, and obstacles in life. Thank you.
Next, we're honored to recognize an exceptional leader whose impact at NASA extends far beyond her title. Anna Cordray is the first female Deputy Program Manager for NASA's Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer Program. Her receiving the Special Recognition Award is a testament to her contribution in the field of standout achievers. Anna has been a driving force behind transformative changes, including establishing the need for lactation rooms at the NASA Ames campus, ensuring mothers have access to more suitable space for their nursing-related needs. Her commitment to fostering inclusivity is evident in her initiative to include DEIA practices throughout the entire hiring process in the SBIR STTR program, setting a new standard that values diverse perspectives and technical expertise. Anna's unwavering dedication truly embodies the spirit of the Special Recognition Award. Please join me in celebrating Anna Cordray.
Thank you. Thank you to Women of Color for all the work you do for the women in the workforce. To my NASA team, who has supported my growth throughout the years. To my partner and kids, I could not be without you. I'm grateful for all of your love and support. The driving force behind my career has always been my immigrant parents, especially my mother, who is here with me today. She taught me resilience and the power of leading with my head held high. Receiving this recognition fills me with gratitude and pride, particularly for the sacrifices she made to give me these opportunities. It's a validation of our shared journey and a reminder to keep paving the way for others. To my mother, I want to honor the strength and courage you have shown me. This achievement is as much yours as it is mine. 多謝阿媽。
Wow, aren't these women incredible? They truly, yes, thank you for that. They truly represent what's possible when talent and perseverance come together. Now, let's meet our next presenter, someone who has dedicated his career to excellence and service. Please welcome Kevin Murphy, Supervisory Equipment Specialist, U.S. Army.
Thank you. Ayanna Graham's commitment to excellence is evident in her groundbreaking achievements. Her efforts in the P-8 Advanced Airborne Sensor Maintenance Project resulted in approximately $2 million in savings, and her strategic thinking led to another $18 million in cost savings for NZ training system programs. Ayanna's work not only delivered impressive financial results, but marked significant milestones for the U.S. Navy and its partners. Her contributions exemplify the spirit of innovation, dedication that this award represents. Please join me in honoring Ayanna Graham.
I'm grateful and appreciative in receiving this prestigious STEM award. I leaned on several mentors throughout my career who dedicated their time reinforcing my success, especially the mentor who nominated me for this award. She taught me to work for a cause, not for an applause. My goal is to empower other women to stretch themselves, do things that are unique, that seem impossible. Faith brought me through all my successes in life. I'm ecstatic to receive this award. It confirms that dedication to any cause, whether it's sponsoring a child or accelerating warfighter readiness through training system solutions, can all be pathways to success. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank our highly valued partners who help make events like this possible. Please watch a brief message from our sponsor, Google.
No. Go over here.
Here we go.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Liftoff of STS-7 and America's first woman astronaut.
But in a moment, the 1980s will be arriving. What a decade it is coming up.
Here she comes. 1-0 Spain.
What a fabulous goal! Oh, absolute genius for Cristiano Ronaldo.
What the one for LeBron James.
LeBron stands alone.
Holy, over the fence.
Oh, they're worshipping him.
Pikachu, I choose you. Pikachu!
Mr. Potter, I'd just like to say thanks.
Homer Simpson.
Woo!
Homer Simpson.
Woo!
Please stop doing that.
This really is a golden age of Indian cinema.
Welcome to my world. Don't tell her y'all ready. Look around, everybody, oh. Y'all won that one.
started out as a lady in a bathing suit, but she became so much more.
Hi, Barbie. Hola, Barbie. Oi, Barbie. Здравствуй, Barbie.
So cool.
I think as a songwriter, if you are open enough, you can connect with people.
This woman is the reason that I'm a songwriter?
A huge announcement today in the decades-long effort to harness nuclear fusion.
This will change the way we power our world.
It's Spider-Man! Oh!
This is what we signed up for, and this is what we do.
You're all heroes. I don't know how you do it.
It's in the darkest skies that you find the brightest stars. We're stronger than we think.
There is still good in the world.
Aloha also means you help anybody in trouble.
Isn't this our natural instinct? We want to do what we can.
Here we go.
This is the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes to inclusion, yes to love, yes to equal marriage.
We're standing together with people all over the world.
I had a dream to be the first black rock and roll singer to pack places like the Stones.
You're simply the best!
We thought with music you could change the world and have fun.
To keep moving forward, each generation passes the baton down to the next generation.
We believe that nothing is impossible.
I will stand before you and speak with confidence and not be afraid.
Get up, Coco Golf. You just won the US Open.
Wow, a big thank you to Google for that compelling and energizing message. Our next awardee is the definition of transformative action. As the Director of Sustainable Aviation Fuel at KBR, Dr. Normark is a trailblazer in advancing greener energy solutions. Her work focuses on transforming lignocellulose into biofuels, green chemicals, and renewable materials, and all essential for sustainable development and energy security. Said that twice. Dr. Normark's career began in the traditional pulp and paper industry, but her innovation in biorefinery technology has taken her career to new heights. At KBR, she has been crucial in pioneering biofuel technologies, including the pure SAF/SM pathway for 100% sustainable aviation fuel. Dr. Normark's unwavering commitment to advancements in sustainable energy makes her a standout amongst her peers. Please help me celebrate Dr. Monica Normark for her remarkable achievements and dedication to a more sustainable future.
Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I'm truly amazed to be here with all of you. I had one moment when I was told early by my math teacher that mathematics was not for me. That really got me more curious and inspired me to find out more and end up with a master in chemical engineering and a PhD in chemistry. So maybe it was for me. Thank you. In my 18 years in the sustainability sector and different energy sectors as well, it's rare to see another woman at the table, let alone a woman of color. I haven't seen a product development company led by a woman since I started working. I'm still waiting. Instead of discouraging me, it fueled me to drive to create spaces for women in STEM and pave the way for the next generation. I have learned that to create change, we must invest in women and men early, inspiring interest in various fields within tech, while ensuring opportunities are accessible to all through recruitment and mentorship. This is a mission I take very personally. I'm raising 3 sons to be self-aware and kind, especially toward women. I want them to grow up in a world where equality is reality, where they not only see women in leadership, but respect and champion them on. I've learned that integrity matters most. I am not here to please everybody, but stay true to my values and make choices I'm proud of. To all the women here and watching from home, let's continue to lead and challenge the status quo. Let's change the narrative and create a world where our daughters and sons will see women in every corner of the tech industry and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Normark. Next up, it's my honor to introduce a dynamic leader whose passion for excellence and dedication to empowering others shines through in every aspect of her work. Please welcome Alana Wins, Chief Content Officer and Editor-in-Chief, Career Communications Group.
Hello, good morning. As the Chief Technology Officer for Leidos Health Mission Solutions Division, Jermaine Richardson has demonstrated unparalleled expertise and leadership across a multitude of technology disciplines. With over 2 decades of experience, she has excelled in networking, software design, quality assurance, and cybersecurity, managing programs with budgets exceeding $20 million. Jermaine's remarkable career is marked by her dedication to high-profile federal programs and her unwavering commitment to both customer satisfaction and employee engagement. Please help me welcome to the stage Jermaine Richardson, whose impact on the technology sector continues to inspire and set a benchmark for others to follow.
Good morning, everyone. I am overwhelmed with the gratitude to receive this honor of special recognition for the Women of Color STEM Award. I want to thank the members of CCG, Leidos, and most importantly, my family. A journey in technology is challenging, especially for women, and even more so for women of color. Most of us, at some point in our career, have been challenged, not understanding that what we are facing is within ourselves, trying to overachieve and exceed because that is what it takes. Making sure that your voice is heard and you are seen as a value add to the solution and not just there for representation purposes or to take notes. In my career journey, I had a mentor that said, it's not the people around you that defines you and validates you, it is you. It is you that completes that task. I never doubted myself in the things that I could do. In the words of Brené Brown, you own this story and you get to write the ending. I am saying to everyone in this moment, and to those who will stand here after me, own your story, own your career, and own your journey. Thank you.
Ms. Wins? Alana.
I wanted to make sure she got her award. Our celebration of excellence in STEM continues, and it's my pleasure to introduce someone who knows a thing or two about fostering innovation. Sherry Suley is a distinguished mechanical engineer at Textron Systems. She has made significant contributions to various defense programs, including UAV ground control stations, strategic Air Force initiatives, and munitions development. After a decade at Textron Systems and a 9-year hiatus as a stay-at-home parent, Sherry returned to the field full-time during the pandemic and has since garnered awards for her performance. Recognized as a cognizant mechanical engineer and design lead for a U.S. Air Force program, Sherry excels in solving complex problems in strategic systems. Please join me in celebrating Sherry Suley.
Good morning. I'm completely humbled and honored to receive this award. My imposter syndrome immediately kicked in when I initially received the nomination. I could not believe that I would be here this morning with all of you amazing women. I've been a stay-at-home mom, and I've worked part-time and full-time as a mechanical engineer. What brought me back after taking a 9-year hiatus was my kids. I wanted them to know that success comes with hard work and dedication. I'm so inspired by my fearless daughter, who is studying mechanical engineering at Georgia Tech, and I'd like to think that I may have contributed to her decision to pursue a STEM career. I would like to thank my family and my coworkers at Textron, who have always been so supportive of me in all the stages of my career. I've always wanted to be my best self at work and at home, and for the young people starting their careers, my advice would be, along your journey, don't let your imposter syndrome get in your way. Be willing to lead by example, learn to pivot, accept new challenges, and make difficult decisions with conviction, both at work and at home. Hard work and dedication will lead you to your success. Thank you so much for this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome back Kevin Murphy, Supervisory Equipment Specialist with the U.S. Army, to help us honor our next award recipient.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Today we honor A.D. Thompson with a special recognition award. Dr. Thompson is a research biologist at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, where she tackles critical environmental issues through innovative research on water treatment, toxin removal, and rare earth recovery. Her work on graphene applications and PFAS membrane technologies is groundbreaking. In addition to her research, Dr. Thompson has made significant impact educating by developing a scholars program at Prairie View A&M University and leading the American Institute of Chemical Engineers Minority Affairs Committee. Her past role as an assistant professor at the University of Arkansas further showcases her dedication to advancing science and mentoring the next generation. Congratulations to Dr. A.D. Thompson for your exceptional achievements and contributions.
Thank you for this incredible special recognition award. The driving force behind my dedication has always been my passion for discovery and the mentors who believed in me, even when I doubted myself. Learning about this recognition filled me with gratitude. It's a reflection of my dedication and the people who supported me, especially my mom, my sister, my husband, Alan, and my son, Aiden. To fellow women in STEM, remember that resilience and perseverance are key. You belong in these spaces, and your voice is needed. Embrace your challenges as opportunities for growth, and never underestimate the power of community in helping you reach new heights. We're breaking barriers together. Thank you for this award. Thank you, women of color.
Congratulations on your well-deserved award, Dr. Thompson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to present our final recognition award this morning. Yolanda Washington from Google Data Centers has made remarkable strides in overseeing and enhancing the talent pipeline management and development portfolio. Yolanda's influence spans a diverse array of programs, including the apprenticeship and early career rotational programs, the Data Center Summer Internship DEI program, and the DoD's Skill Bridge program. Her leadership is pivotal in advancing Google's recruitment, people development, and retention goals, while steadfastly supporting the company's Black and racial equity commitments. A strategic leader and domain expert, Yolanda has inspired and guided thousands of team members, becoming a sought-after speaker for global meetings and external DEI events. Her dedication and advocacy for her programs reflect a commitment to excellence and a profound impact on both the organization and broader community. Please join me in celebrating Yolanda Washington.
Thank you so much for this incredible honor. First, I want to acknowledge the women who paved the way, and for all the women in this room, those who broke barriers for Black women, for women of color, and all women in tech. We stand on your shoulders, and I hope that my work honors the legacy you've built. The work I do is so much bigger than just a job. And it's more than just simply building careers. It's about building futures, building communities, and changing the narrative about who gets to exist in these spaces. The programs I've helped develop, from apprenticeships, internships, strategic partnerships, serve as lifelines to those who might not have seen themselves represented in this industry or might have been overlooked for opportunity. Being part of their journeys has been my privilege that fuels my every single day. I want to thank my wonderful team at Google, because the work is not done in isolation. It takes all of us pursuing and pushing us for systemic change. Thank you for your support, your ideas, and your commitment to this mission. To my family, to my friends and mentors, your love, guidance, and encouragement has been my foundation. And finally, to all the young girls and Black women of color watching, know that you belong in every space you aspire to be in. Your voice, your ideas, and your contributions matter. We need you, and we are working to build an industry where you can exist and thrive unapologetically. Thank you.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to take a moment to recognize a very special technology rising star. Her name is Crystal Hicks. She's an ammunition company first sergeant, U.S. Marine Corps. She's making strides in innovation and STEM, and we just wanted to take a moment to really just recognize her and all the amazing things that she's doing for the STEM community and just women in general. So we want to welcome her out and just recognize her, because we didn't get a chance to do that yesterday at our technology recognition luncheon. So now is her time to shine.
Special. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have the pleasure of transitioning into an exciting, intimate discussion with some of the leading voices in AI. These industry experts will share their insights on the forefront of AI innovation and how it's shaping our world today. But first, let's take a moment to hear some thoughtful reflections from our sponsor.
We are defined by the questions we ask and the challenges we take on. When will sustainable be the standard? Will data be the difference? Can materials be lighter? Can they handle 5,000 degrees? How can travel be transformed? How will we make the world safer? Decisions faster? Are seamless communications the key? Can what's up there help us down here? Is human ingenuity limitless? Is our true potential endless? At RTX, we take on the big challenges. We ask the big questions, and we find answers. We are RTX.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
Welcome to the Women of Color STEM Conference DTX Experience. Stay up to date on all the conference events with the mobile app. To get the app, follow these easy steps.
1. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play Store. 2. Type Career Communications Group into the search bar. 3. Select the CCG STEM icon and press Install. The download process will begin. 4. Open the app and select Women of Color, then press Load. You are now plugged into the schedule and happenings of the Women of Color experience.
Yay! CCG's philosophy on AI centers on the idea that AI is a powerful tool for democratizing knowledge, breaking the chains of controlled information, and dismantling systems of inequity. It's that same philosophy that served as the inspiration for CGI's own Colleen AI platform. As CCG sees it, AI can be a great equalizer, providing unrestricted access to knowledge for everyone. and enabling true freedom. This shift, known as the Metaquake, marks a new era in which AI enables individuals to question traditional systems of control and censorship. Ownership, paving the way for more open access to knowledge. In the spirit of AI advancement and innovation, let's welcome our moderator and panelists on stage for our highly acclaimed discussion on AI synergy and optimizing in STEM. Now, let's meet I'm excited to introduce Christine Burkett, CEO of PICF Inc. Christine. Hello. Christine is a trailblazer in digital equity, IT innovation, and community empowerment. Christine has engineered groundbreaking initiatives over a span of 20 years that have revolutionized access to technology across STEM. Next, let's meet our wonderful panelists. First, we have Clarissa Murphy, Principal Product Manager, Generative AI, HP. She leads innovative projects that help leverage AI technologies to develop forward-thinking solutions and enhance capabilities. Then we have Petula Brown, adjunct faculty at the University of Michigan, where she brings extensive expertise in IT with over a decade of experience in project management, business analysis, and leadership. She's passionate about using technology to improve health equity and continues to drive innovation in the field. And next, we have Dr. Janice Faria Samani, an executive leader and global speaker on AI and data transformation, and an award-winning technologist and entrepreneur with more than 20 years in tech. She currently serves as the managing director of Farah Samani Group, a digital transformation and AI consulting firm, and the highly decorated Major General Michelle Link, Deputy Program Executive Officer for the U.S. Army. She also serves as the Commanding General of the 75th U.S. Army Reserve Innovation Command in Houston, Texas. I'm just saying, 5 years ago, I was sitting right there. But I know nothing about AI, so ladies, all yours.
Well, I wanted to thank each of you before we even start the conversation, and just to say it's hot up here with the lights. I'm going to be totally transparent about that. So what we want to do is we want to have an open conversation with you about AI, but also what the latest topics are across mobility and sustainability and where we are right now, because all of those areas are impacted by AI. So before we get started, our topic is about AI. So I'm going to start you with the quiz show. If any of you have been to any of the sessions that I've done, I like doing the quiz show. So I want us to kind of briefly give us an overview of AI and how it's currently being utilized in your industry. And I'm going to start with you. Because you've got this whole support group, but I think what we do in government a lot of times sets the tone for what we do in corporate. So if you can start with that and just kind of open up and let us know.
I just want to make sure okay, good, it's to my mic. So first and foremost, it is my privilege and honor to be among you today and to sit on the stage with my fellow colleagues and to be among such great technical capabilities. And so I thank you for the time spent here today. In both roles that I have, I know it was mentioned in the introduction, so I currently serve as a Deputy Program Executive Officer for Ground Combat Systems. In that capacity on my civilian career, we are consumers of AI, so consumers of AI capabilities within the development, production, and fielding of weapon systems. In my other role as the Commanding General of the 75th United States Army Reserve Innovation Command, We support AI development to the broader enterprise as we seek to modernize, develop large language models, use AI ML attributes in development of capabilities, technologies to expand our capabilities within the DoD.
Wow, that's amazing. I think a lot of times we don't understand the span of what we do in government and how it impacts what we do across multiple industries. That's amazing. Dr. Samani, what about you? Now, I know a lot about you. People don't know we're actually friends. So it's a little hard for me to be a little professional with my friend sitting down there, but I am. So talk to us about what you do, because you travel all over the world. Like, you've been to Dubai, Hong Kong, Australia. Like, I'm telling her business because she's amazing. So how is AI and what you do in your space, how does that impact?
Thank you for the question. First of all, good morning, and thank you to Career Communications Group for the invitation. It's quite an honor to be here with you. What's exciting about AI is AI itself. It's an older technology, but it spans across all industries and all sectors, and it's a level setter. That's what's exciting for me. It allows for us to streamline predictive analysis using hardcore data, which is something that is a game changer. It allows for us to verify and to justify and to validate our business decisions. So in working with small and medium-sized companies around the world and startups, we have an actual accelerator within our company for small and medium-sized companies to level set and to have them be a challenge for some of those big guys. So AI allows us to have that predictive analysis, but of course you've heard of the generative AI. So the GPT chats and what have you, we'll talk more about that. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to say one of my favorite spaces is healthcare. I originally started out as a pre-med student at Delaware State, HBCUers. And hey, I got a pump at HBCU. And I decided to be a chemist. We won't get into why. We don't have enough time for that. So to me, healthcare is vital to how we use tech. And a lot of people don't know, we're using a lot of AI innovations within that space. So if you can kind of lend to that.
Hey, sure. Well, first, thank you for the invitation. I'm really excited to be here with you this morning. I think with any technology, it can be positive and it can be a challenge. It's just depending on who's wielding it. In terms of my work in implementing systems, particularly electronic medical systems, for several years, there's been a lot of ups and downs. Anyone who works in technologies can speak to that. What comes to mind as an example is to the extent some health insurance companies have used AI to make coverage decisions, which if you're an insurance company, that's a benefit because that's
it helps you.
Your cost. But if you're the patient, whether that works for you or not, can be debated. But in terms of my current work teaching at the University of Michigan School of Information, I'm really excited to help the next generation be informed. And it's not just about the technology itself, but the intent. And what is the overall objective? Because the technology is the means to the end, but not the end itself.
I like that. It's that human element. I always say, you have that group and you never understand what's going to happen and you get that wild card. So we have an Xer up here. I want to say an XY, the beginning. So when you think about AI, you actually were born into this space where AI is being utilized versus the rest of us. Like, we just kind of scooped in on it as life expanded and we went from rotary phones to cell phones. So what's your perspective when you think about AI and your introduction to it in your everyday life and how you use it in your space?
Yeah, and thanks for letting me be here. I'm Clarissa with HP. I'm a millennial, actually.
Are you?
Yes, I'm in my 40s.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
But to answer your question, at HP, we have our devices, and we're known for devices. And I'm actually in the generative AI space, and so I've launched generative AI tools and within our chatbots, within some agentic experiences within HP. But to directly answer your question, AI and machine learning, it's been around for a lot longer than we've thought, and I think it's just become more mainstream. And so we've all been a part of machine learning, whether we've liked it or not. And I don't think it's the idea of you're sweeping in and you're figuring it out now. You've already been in it, so figure out now where you want to be in it rather than figuring out how to play catch up, if that answers your question.
Oh, it does. And I think a lot of us don't realize when we think about AI, the human element is that we created AI. All of us that use Amazon, Google, any type of resources you use online, we're collecting information. That's machine learning, and we're understanding more so how to predict what it is that you want. So when you think about your journey, and I hate to think of things as an equation, right? But it's called predictive analysis. When you think about your journey and how you got to this space, what made you pursue and how did you navigate getting from where you started? Because there's a lot of young people out there that are looking at you and you're like a genius in this space. So I'm not gonna put pressure on you. We're gonna start right down here with HP, right? And then I'm gonna work back that way. So HP, talk to us about your journey and what you did to navigate where you are right now.
Yeah, so my journey is very different. So, you have healthcare and government tech, and I actually started off in entertainment technology. And so I developed streaming services for platforms like CBS and NBC and Fox early in my career. And I knew that because where I work in the NLU, which is natural language processing or natural language understanding. So whenever you interact with a chatbot, there are people like myself, like my teammates, who are ensuring that behind the scenes, the bot is speaking to you in a way that makes sense and that we are gathering your information and analyzing your intents or what you're trying to do in a way that our systems can give you your next step. But I got into it because of that, because I've always been a student of communication. Like I said, when I started in entertainment technology, I wanted to be an actor, long story short, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought, well, I love tech, so I'm going to marry those two. I was a front-end coder, developer, and when I had a few machine learning teammates, I just kind of jumped beside them at one of the streaming platforms I worked for, and they were data scientists. And that's how I understood, okay, well, this is recall and precision, and this is what matters, and these are recommendation engines, and I just kind of grew in. Curiosity is what got me where I am, and tenacity as well. I've been called a bulldog.
But I think that's
fine. No, in a good way.
I think that's okay, and I applaud that.
And let me clarify.
Yeah.
It was a coworker, a male. I'm a black female, worked in a male-dominated industry all my entire career. I have had to stick up for myself and say the hard things out loud. And because of that, people are like, hey, you won't BS us, come work for our team. Or hey, at HP, I was over quality for our chatbot. My boss was like, you have this generative experience, you won't waste our money. Let's transition you over to the generative AI and let you launch that tool and let you be the principal product owner and manager for that. So I got into the role for my tenacity, for me saying the hard things, for me just knowing my worth and fighting for that and being curious and having the ability to just figure it out and get alongside people.
I like that. I like the fact that you say you were a bulldog, right? How many of us, you get that tag and you're like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I'm gonna say this is a great thing. She's done a phenomenal job in understanding who she was, and you just like everybody else can figure it out, right? I love that.
Everyone.
You can't please everybody. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I really hate to kind of really blow people up, but if you really don't tell the truth about who you are, I'm gonna tell everybody. So you can tell your journey, but anything you miss, I'm gonna fill y'all in, because I know what's happening. She's right down the road. So please tell people your journey and how you got from where you are and how you're now the very sought after person, not just here in Michigan, but all over the world. People come after you to ask you questions about what you do in the space.
Okay, well, before I was here in Michigan, before I was a professional, I actually grew up in Harlem, New York, lived in experience. And straight up, my parents didn't have a lot. We were taking food stamps before they were cards.
Yes.
They were like actual stamps. So lived in Section 8 housing, and through that, I was really interested in the justice component, and in particularly helping people who normally weren't getting the care they need, and to improve that process. And from that, I got into healthcare technology as one means to do that. And then years into that experience, I had a personal experience where I had a health issue that came up, and frankly, I was dismissed, and it was a chest pain issue. And then it wasn't until a provider who happened to be a black man I talked to after I'd been to the hospital, and it turned out I had never seen a cardiologist because I didn't fit the profile of someone who would have chest issues. And then when it was all said and done, he referred me to a cardiologist. I got tested and I had a 95% blockage. So it went from, oh, don't worry about it, to, oh, you need to get a surgery. So just that whole process of how the data was put together. And I was blessed in that experience I found out from the doctor became a teaching tool for the medical students about not making assumptions and kind of going outside the profile. But that personal experience really got me interested in how to think that way on a broader level.
I'm glad she told that game-changing moment. You have no idea how that one experience has changed many of women's lives because she was the game changer. So I just say that right there, I applaud you. Thank you. And she used that and pivoted that into a career-changing moment where now she sets the stage and ensures that no woman's healthcare is overlooked by being the person who's making the decisions in health tech. So I think that's amazing, the work that you do. And I'm so glad I didn't really have to tell all your business about that because I was gonna tell everybody. Now, Dr. Samani, I know her journey. I could do it in like 10 bullets, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think 10 bullets is gonna cover it. This woman is absolutely phenomenal and has these young ladies, her daughters, who are watching her go from being what we would consider a person who had a small voice to a person who now works at multiple colleges and universities, started her own company and has helped thousands of people start their company. That's just a little quick high level. She's my friend, so I can just brag on her because I'm always proud of her. But you know, tell us how you, and I don't want, not your journey, how your journey has transformed your kids, your daughters. See, that's what I want to hear. Let's talk about that because there's a lot of daughters out there. Let's talk about your journey and how it's transformed their lives.
Okay, I really wanted to talk about my journey because I think it's impactful, but my daughters are critical to the formula, as you mentioned. I'm originally from Detroit.
She is.
So my father worked at Burroughs Corporation, and he was an electronic or electrical engineer. They didn't have robotics engineers then, but he worked on one of the first mobile robots. So we moved to California. I got to tell some of this because it's amazing because we moved to where now is called Silicon Valley. So as part of who I am was through environment as well as family. I think that that's very, very critical. And having the opportunity, I was the kid that said, the after-school program, anybody want to go to Lockheed Martin and learn programming? And no one knew what programming was, but I raised my hand because I was exposed to that in my home environment. So I learned COBOL and Fortran, the grandmother and the grandfather of what is now considered coding. So it's been an amazing journey in that. And then having the opportunity to actually see my daughters, since you mentioned them, I'll kick them in a bit.
They're part of her business. That's why I'm blowing her up right now, but go ahead.
But they're quite wonderful. All of them are in tech. All of them are in STEM. Yes. And my daughter, I just saw her one day getting a wire and actually figuring out how to get something outside of the window at the age of 6 or 5. And I said, future engineer. So I watched her and saw her inclination for it and helped start the robotics program for girls at NASA. So it was the first girls robotics program at NASA. But that's just part of the journey. But from there, just continuing to work with individuals around the world that had great ideas, that wanted to move their ideas forward, and being able to utilize technology, taking the difficult and the complex entities of business as well as the integration of business and tech, which is very, very critical. That was a big question for me going into grad school. Well, how does this all work? And how can we move people, cities, communities, and countries forward? So I'm having the opportunity to do that now. Thank you.
I love that. That's like a great story about how you can really navigate being that person you need to be, which is a great intro to our next person. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people don't really impress me right away. But you know what she said to me immediately? When we wrap this up, I've got to go home, get my kids, because my husband has a golf tournament he has to do. And then I'm going to come back because I got to do this session later on today. I'm going to tell you, honey, honey, they don't deserve you over there at the government. You are navigating. She was like working. So this is what I mean when you talk about a woman of excellence in tech. She's still being mommy right now, you know, and I think that's amazing. So I don't know, you need to tell us, how are you in and out of these spaces and navigating, doing laundry, getting people to practice, and supporting the whole household? How is this happening? Listen, Anna General, right? That deserves an applause. I don't even understand.
So thank you for that. So I do have adult children, right? I do want to caveat that the boys that are home with us now are adopted, right? So my husband and I made a deliberate decision to adopt 2 boys from foster care to give them a different story, different ending to their own story.
That's beautiful.
Woo! And so the benefit of having so many children is that you get the hover parenting out of the way early. So when you get to number 7 and 8, you're like, you've got dirty clothes, let me show you how the wash machine works. So there's a lot more independence going on. You can make your own food to a certain extent. But you know, my story's a little bit non-circuitous, a little bit indirect, and I want to give a shout out to the educators. And I say that because I am the granddaughter of immigrants. I was born in Detroit, in the city of Detroit. My sister and I were the first in our entire family to go to college, in entire generations to go to college. My mother was a waitress, my father was a mechanic. In 7th grade, there was a teacher that saw something in me that I didn't see. And she put me in algebra. I had no clue what A and X and Y and Z and all of that was. I was happy writing stories. I was going to be an author. But she saw something in me that I didn't see. And as that educator, I give her all the credit in the world because she put me on a trajectory, although not very straight. She put me on a path that ended up in a science and technology career. My parents, we didn't have the internet, right? So I'm that generation that had the rotary phone. I had a flip phone. When you call waiting was when you called the operator to get your sister off the phone so that you could reach your mother because you had no cell phone, right? It was that banana phone with the long cord.
Oh my gosh.
But in that path, we had a book. My mother gave me a book. This is how you go figure out how to go to college. I didn't know what that meant, but here's a book. Go read about it. And so I did. And for me, I joined the Army as a way to pay for college. So I went to Michigan State. I went into engineering. That teacher in 7th grade propelled my career. And then I figured out how I was going to fund that career. And that's where the Army came in for me. I had a scholarship through a science technology program back in the day at Michigan State. And I paid for college because my parents could not. And that was my way of earning and contributing there. And that opened up doors and opportunities for me in that career field. And I can also attest that even along that journey, and many of you who maybe have had that same experience, still encountering teachers that say, hey, maybe this isn't the right career for you. And that's my Calc 2 teacher. And I say that because I did repeat that class. That was a really hard class, Calc 2. And I remember going in there, and I said, okay, you're my teacher. I'm going to come in every day until you help me understand. That's your job, to help me understand. So there were obstacles along the way on that path and that journey. But again, to the educators that step up to the plate, to the women that help each other, to the women that open the doors to allow you to come through, I extend my gratitude to you, because you don't maybe understand the difference that you make in somebody's life along the entirety of your career. So thank you for that.
Wow. So I want to say thank you to each of you, because the little girl in me, Christine, who did not talk, who stayed in my closet with a flashlight to read books because it was time to go to bed. And my mother's like, if I see the lights on, you're in trouble. So I figured out the secret was just to go to the closet with the flashlight and read books. And I will say, you know, growing up in a generation where my mother was not a college graduate, she had finished high school, and I didn't know algebra, and I needed help, and my mother dropped me off at Wayne State University outside the math building, and I'll never forget, she called ahead. See, this is when we didn't have cell phones. Obviously, she called from home. She says, I'm gonna drop my daughter off. I'm gonna stay parked down the street, but until she walks in that building and asks you for help, I don't want anyone to walk out and help her. Because she has to understand no one in life is gonna give you anything. If you want it, you gotta go after it. And I applaud my mother, because she wasn't a college graduate, but she knew to drop me off at Wayne State University. And it took me 4 Saturdays before I got enough nerve to go ask them for help. And the minute I got up, I walked towards the door, the man walked out and said, "We've been waiting on you. Come on in." So I want to say to all of you, when you have a child that's different, that may not be like you, remember, you see the greatness in them, and you have to allow them to want it for themselves. Otherwise, they're just riding on your coattail waiting for you to make the decisions for them. So the person I am today, I'm very grateful. I give it to my parents because they forced me to talk. And now I'm up here talking to all of you, right? Because it never would have happened. All right, so listen, we're going to get into the game show part of this, because you guys, if you haven't been to one of my sessions, you know this is about to be fun now. So ladies, when we talk about AI and tools and the empowerment of that, I want us to briefly kind of look at your each individual areas. And I want you to give us an example. Now, one, you could be a celebrity right now. I want you to think about getting into movies. I think, honestly, right now, I see a show for you. And it could be called Bulldog. And because you are revolutionizing how we look at what we do, like the chatbots, real conversation, they really give me a headache sometimes. I want them to really kind of give me my answers the way I want them. Like in, "Hello, Christine, how are you? Be more charitable to me." That's what I'm thinking. So we can do that. I'm okay with the programming. But if you talk about AI and the tools and the empowerment part of that, can you provide us with some examples and implementations in your field that led to significant advancements for improvement? And think about what I just said about that greeting about Christine. Okay, all right.
If you have a problem with your HP device, I recommend you go to support.hp.com.
See how she did that commercial? Don't you love that?
And the chatbot will satisfy your needs once you log in and give us access to your data.
I love that.
You didn't hear
you
the
go to
last part.
hp.com. Okay.
But to be honest, there's this concept of socio-technical systems theory. And if you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend you brush up on it. And it's basically the connection of sociology and technology and how humans interact with technology. And I think if we as technologists bring more of those sociologists on board, we can solve issues like that. Because yes, we're all technologists, we're all engineers, and we have our own engineering mindset, and we all think differently. But when you bring in a different level of expertise, you satisfy or solve pain points like what you've said.
Yeah.
And also with the socio-technical systems, you bring in this human in the loop. And so I think we're all familiar that when you have like an LLM, a large language model, or any AI model, it needs training data, and you have like supervised or unsupervised learning. It just depends on how you want it to be trained. There are many different types. When you bring in human in the loop, as in like a response, a quality assistance or a quality assurance, not really QA, but someone who's looking at the responses, and they're saying, hey, this utterance or what the user said isn't answered by this response from the chatbot or from this experience. Therefore, I need to jump in and either update my guardrails or change my prompt engineering or et cetera. When you have more people who can think about how people think and less about the ones and zeros, I think you can solve problems like that. I think we as a society are bringing more people like that into the fold to make these systems more equitable, more inclusive, and just better than the predecessor.
I like that. So, when we talk about the collaboration between AI and the human element, I think when you look at the automotive industry, this is Motown, so of course I got to bring this up, that we look at how a lot of people were replaced on those lines with robots, right? But when we look at what we do day to day, I mean, let's be totally transparent. I walked into a Target and there was a robot walking around, strolling through the aisles, and I'm thinking, what is happening? Are we replacing the people stocking the shelves with this robot now? So when you think about that, what are your thoughts, when you think about what we're doing in AI and the human element that involves that? And so Dr. Samani, I'm gonna start with you.
You saw me.
I know, because I know you're pickling down there.
This is very critical. Human in the loop is I want to land on that as well. I think it's critical to think about how we are in not only engaging, but a lot of the jobs that can be replaced by automation are being replaced. That's part of what's going on with the ports right now as well. There's a huge concern, and in California, of course, with the writer's strike, et cetera. So, but to think about how we could upscale, it's not so much to take to eliminate the jobs. It's more of to enhance the jobs. And in regard to education, I'd like to address that as well. I spoke recently, I'm a Fulbright faculty, so I spoke with teachers that teach around the world. And the interesting thing was I was sharing with them about upskilling and continuing to be lifelong learners. So in doing that, it allows for you to learn what the millennials are interested in and the younger generations and go across all different sectors. So I'm just touching very quickly on a lot of points here. But it's very important to understand that you're upskilling and you're reskilling. So it's not to take away jobs, but it's to actually broaden the perspective and allow for new jobs to come down the pike. A lot of them are not going to be technical, but a lot of them will be technical. And it allows for everyone to continue. The society will keep Moore's Law, will continue to grow and improve as we get engaged. And think about GPT chat. Everyone says that, I'll just throw that in there, GPT chat, and it's a generative pre-training transformer. So we're all engaging in the process of developing the technology, and we have that opportunity to do so. So human in the loop.
I think that's great. And real quick, I'm going to come, I don't want to jump down to government because what you guys use AI for is actually the human element is important, but it's saving lives. And I think if you can talk more to that and how it impacts, government and what we do in the Army.
Sure. So within the Department of Defense, we have a little bit different application of AI as a capability within the development of autonomous and semi-autonomous weapons. For us, and that is a commitment on the DoD, is to ensure the ethical use of AI in those capabilities. And that brings in that human element. So we do not have purely autonomous, you talk about self-driving cars or self-driving vehicles and platforms. We still have a human element in that loop to make the decisions about the effective and ethical use of effects in response to certain situations, whether it's in combat or the like. So a little bit different set of ethical considerations. So where that empowerment comes in place and that human element is cultivating those skill sets that leaders in the AI or technologists in the AI field can bring to those bias and that determination. But we are committed within DoD to ensuring that there is still a human in the loop to make that end decision. So while AI may be able to detect the presence of an enemy vehicle, that requires a decision by a commander or a leader on how to use effects in response to it. It's not a self-determining use of AI in that regard.
I think that's measurable. And then in your space, I know in education we're using it, but also in the health space, it's really like a key indicator. And how are you guys looking at both and how they work together?
Well, when I heard this question, what came to mind is something that came out, and when the question is a successful implementation, it depends on who's defining success. And so within the healthcare field, it's relatively well known, a scenario that took place that an electronic medical record vendor had used AI and had put together a logarithm that basically said, well, we're going to use how much is spent in terms of someone's care to determine whether they should get more advanced care. And, if you're AI, it kind of maybe makes sense. And then it was implemented by this electronic medical record vendor. And then once it was implemented, it became clear that because black folks of color, typically had less spent on them, they were less likely to get recommended to get advanced care, which wasn't the intent of the system, right? But so they had to pull it. And so that's an example where they went back and with that human element really made an adjustment. So it goes back to, I think, what I said, the technology is the technology. Was the technology trying to not have black folks get advanced care? Well, no, but the proxy that it had didn't recognize that black folks tended to get less spent on them, so therefore that wasn't a good metric. So I just give that as an example in terms of having that human element that can bring that to the table when AI necessarily could not.
Can I say something really quickly? Sorry. So yes, I work on the chatbot, but I also work on other elements within HP for generative AI and other AI aspects. And there are some things I can't mention, but we are releasing some other AI tools where I have been very vocal. We need other people besides you, Caucasian man, going over X, Y, and Z. Because when you have a certain race and ethnicity and certain, and I love everyone, but when you have certain people going over certain things, you will miss things like what you've said. I'm trying to be very vague, but you need to have people reviewing the data who are diverse and who are different. So for example, we were releasing a language, something for our agents so that I can translate and I can actually understand what people are saying. And it was a voice-activated system. And the guy who did it, he has a very strong Israeli accent. And when he did his demo, it understood him very well. I'm from the South. I'm a Southern girl. So sometimes I have an accent. And I mentioned, well, hey, are you making sure that this model is being trained on Southern accents? And he was like, oh, yeah, we have this one girl in Houston. No. You've got North Carolinian accents. You've got Georgian accents. You've got the people from Alabama. I have some in-laws from, the Creole. You need to figure out and make sure that you have everyone involved so that everyone can be involved down the road. And that's very crucial. I think that will satisfy the issues that you've mentioned.
I think that's...
And if I can just say, I think that's so important. And if folks haven't seen it, there's a documentary called Coded Bias. Coded Bias. Look that up. I think it's been on Netflix to talk about that one scenario related to facial recognition and skin color, and that's what really got me into it, because I'm not into facial recognition, but just the experience of that one person. Look up Coded Bias, and you'll hear more about it.
And that's what I was going to bring up, is that if you really want to look at how algorithms are created, and that's what I do. I look at algorithms. I'm a data geek, and I look at how we decide what we're going to do. And to your point, it's always a group of people that they don't look like everyone. They look like a set of group of people, and they make a decision with an algorithm who gets access. And that's everything from loans to your car insurance. There are algorithms. So I want to say, if you want to really make a difference, data analysts, don't stop. I need us to get out there and be in those spaces. And data analysts, you need to really talk to people who are engineers and doing the coding to understand how you guys mirror one another and you can work collaboratively. Now, with all this chit chat about AI, we're going to be totally transparent. You guys are tossing out a lot of stuff. It's called electronics. We're doing a lot of e-waste dumping. Do we even think about how that impacts what we do and how we can leverage and reduce electronic waste, particularly in recycling and recovering of materials from old devices, right? So when you think about textile waste, the reduction in ways that AI and technology can use and optimize textile by recycling processes, and how can this contribute to reducing landfill waste? So I know these ladies are thinking, like, where does that fall in? Well, that's where your moderator has a little moment out here. So in my space in e-waste, I work with organizations like the government. I work with organizations like Zamani and small businesses. And then I also work in tech, but then we also work with HP, because what happens? Anytime anything becomes outdated, they work with an e-waste company. And what we do is we break it down. But what people fail to realize is that there's gold, there's copper, there's a lot of precious metals in that. There's so much money in that. But not only that, the chips that all of us use in all of our technology, we repurpose them when we send them back to universities so that they can study them and they can take them apart and put them back together and teach teams how to create them. It's called mass production. So that's the reason why here in this city, in Detroit, I will be opening up an e-waste and textile recycling plant for that purpose. And so thank you. It's really important we understand in technology, we don't always have to be on the front end, but sometimes you got to support them by the back end. And in doing that, we can create more jobs and introduce more minorities to tech. And in the e-waste space, my job is to work with organizations like HP so that we can train them on how to do what? Repair those old devices, understand how to resell them and put them back in our communities for people who cannot afford them. And that's where we come in as minorities, and not just minorities in color, but minorities as women in this space. So when we talk about predictive analysis, that's what I use to understand the needs of the community. How can we predict analytics with powering using AI. And I'm going to be totally transparent. I think sometimes we use AI to help our businesses, but to minimize or maximize waste or better forecasting product demand and the life cycle. And in my space, I had to come up with that so that I can work with organizations like yours, and I can send you a prediction on when your life cycle of your computers need to be tossed out and why I need to be your what? Your partner in that space, right? So when you think about that, what do you guys use at HP to decide the life cycle of something? Because you guys are like on the cutting edge. You create things, I think, every month. Not that we hear about it, but I want to say like your quiet lab. What do you guys call your lab, your test lab over there?
We have a lot of labs, actually.
Secret location, by the way. We're not discussing where they're located.
Only government people know.
Right, exactly. You seriously said only the government people know. We're not telling you where these labs are.
I mean, to be fair, my intro is going to be very short. HP is huge in sustainability. And it's yes about recycling our devices, but also ensuring that we make the planet better. And so there are so many initiatives that I cannot speak on that pertain to using AI. I have coworkers here who are using predictive analysis for situations such as that. If you see an HP person, ask them afterwards. But yeah, we're doing a lot. I can't.
I know she's limited, so I will tell you in the research that I found that we have 3 top companies that really focus on sustainability and partnering with organizations. The #1 top one is the government, which I'm really proud to say that they make sure at all times that, and of course they take out all their confidential information, but anything that can be repurposed or used, they make sure that it doesn't go to landfill waste. The other company is HP, and then we have Dell. And I'm really proud to say that they're doing an exceptional job in that space. Now, when we talk about human resources, we've all been, I'm not gonna say a victim, but I'm a little bit upset about human resources right now. So if there's a human resource person out there using predictive analysis to decide whether or not I should be your next CEO, we need to talk about it. Because you guys are scanning these resumes and deciding whether or not I'm the #1 pick. And so when we look at that, how are you guys using AI? Like, is there a situation in human resources where you feel like we need to take more of a broader scale of how we're using it to make decisions?
So I can just say within my circle, we do not use AI to make hiring decisions. We make hiring decisions on the
Woo! I love that.
And their
Old
qualifications.
school. I love that. What about you?
Well, I'm not going to speak directly to HR, if I may. I'd like to talk about, if I can flip it on its side, AI in regard to SMEs, small and medium-sized companies, and how we are utilizing it from a generative AI standpoint to actually find out and understand the discovery of their customer, the market fit, the market size, the predictive analysis, understanding not only your customer, but your overall market and your expansion, that you can scale your company, which I think is very critical. Now, when it comes to selection of candidates to fill the particular roles for your organization, I think that the AI filtration has a great opportunity to actually scan many candidates, but then you also get the erroneous information that does come from it. So it's, again, human in the loop. That has to be an active part of reviewing the process.
I know, I love the government. Well, listen, guys, we don't want to take up all the time, so I would love for you to head to one of the mics. Feel free to ask any of us any questions that you may have. I'm always open to answering questions, but these ladies, they have a lot of knowledge and skill set that they can offer you guys. So if anyone has any questions, be sure to head to a mic, and we'll be happy to answer one of your questions. Oh, well, thank you. You are our first person. Outstanding. How are you? And introduce yourself and what company you're from.
Okay, hi. My name is Miguel Febres. I'm a senior mechanical engineering major from Prairie View A&M University. It's HBCU in Houston, Texas. My question, it's not specific towards anyone, but I'm really interested in the AI space, but I'm a mechanical engineering major. So what would be you all's advice for someone who's trying to make that transition, but they don't really have experience within the field?
Okay, do you guys want to go? Because I was just saying internships are really great, especially if you can take a break during the summer, a couple of weeks. Look at internship opportunities, start researching companies and finding out who's going in that direction in AI that you're interested in, and find if they have any internships that you can jump on.
Let's talk after this.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm in Houston.
Okay,
and
cool.
HP.
See?
So I will say, look for those companies that are doing not just because you've got AI, right? But
Right.
there are some companies like HP who has an AI PC. I'm sorry, they pay my bills.
I know, honey. Pay the bills. Pay the bills. Do it. Do it.
But I will say, there are companies now, and we're evolving, and you'll have laptops like HP has an AI PC, right? So there's a lot of hardware and software, and it's all mixed in together. But yes, internships as well. But if you have the time, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt because when I was growing up, people were like, "Oh yeah, do a side hustle." I don't have time for a side hustle.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't have the time, partner with someone, LinkedIn, ask other questions on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are lots of opportunities.
I was going to say LinkedIn because I know I see so many resources on LinkedIn where they say free resources, right, to kind of get you grounded, to get started. And I will say, I don't know about your university, but at the University of Michigan, I spent most of the summer doing boot camps. And when they're at universities, they can be inexpensive or free.
Yeah.
And I would assume most universities have some version of that. So I might suggest you research that option as well.
Thank you.
And on
You're
that
welcome.
thought of education and boot camps and the like, I'm working with NSF, the National Science Foundation, actually with the Great Lakes Hub here with U of M for I-Corps. So a lot of the college students are actually coming up with ideas and running it through I-Corps, and I utilize AI. Actually, I work with Georgia Tech on developing their generative AI, and I work with Stanford and UC Berkeley on utilizing AI to actually develop businesses. So there's so many different opportunities for you to engage. You can link with me on LinkedIn.
Final comment. There are tons of great research papers right now that are coming out. Read those, and if you can, provide commentary. We want to know your opinion and how you think through what's currently out there. And then from there, because I'm in grad school as well, you can figure out, hey, I'm in school, I read this white paper or this research that you did. I'd love to partner with you or at least see your database or see what's going on. There are different ways to get in now that are a lot easier than generations before us.
Okay.
I just want to add, I'm also a mechanical engineer. So just being a mechanical engineer doesn't mean that you are limited for future opportunities in AI, because there are AI capabilities that are tied in with hardware, software development. So you are not limited by function of your degree. In fact, that opens up doors because once you look at a company, if that's something that you want to be involved in, and you look at those companies that are doing AI development in that space, there's so many opportunities to work for that company, but then work for that program or that platform that's doing that capability development as a mechanical engineer.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Next person.
Good morning. Tiffany Hostin, SAIC. I'm a systems engineering manager. I'm coming to the panel to ask if you can pull the thread on how decisions are, or how people are chosen for jobs in regards to resume, because I heard a comment made on the stage, and I've been in the Intel space in U.S. government for the last 20 years. We'll say 5 years, but I know that there are algorithms that can weed you out. So before you even get to make the human decision, if there aren't certain words that are listed on your resume and in different arenas or in different orders with certain years of experience, you won't even get the chance to read my resume to make that human decision. So I want to pull the thread on that because I don't want the audience, especially the young people, to think that there isn't a certain way they need to craft their story on their resumes and their CVs, because they'll be weeded out before they even
You're correct. And one of the things I'm going to give you guys the big loop to this, I need you to get on LinkedIn and I need you to hook up with what they call a resume writer or a human resource consultant. You really need to talk to them and have them craft your resume for you. And it may require you crafting different types of resumes for jobs that you're looking for. That whole concept of having one resume is no longer going to happen. And they're going to help you craft it in a way that you're going to get identified. But the most important thing is when you go to that company, link up with that HR person, but then you look for the HR generalist. Because the VP of HR, they're not talking to you on LinkedIn. They're busy, honey. But the generalist, their support team, those are the people who are linked to those recruiters. So just remember that. And then there are two or three sessions, I think, that we've already had that was related to HR and resume writing. Make sure you link up with those people who did those workshops here at Women of Color. So I'm going to say great job to the team who put this together. They did identify people who can actually help you with that specifically.
Well, the one thing I would say, Petula Brown, you can look me up on LinkedIn. I think resumes are okay, but to be completely transparent, I think you really have to be more out there so people are looking for you as opposed to you sending your stuff out. And I say that because I have an older daughter who recently graduated from U of M, and now she's getting her graduate degree at Georgetown. And the interesting thing with her, she was looking to do some summer stuff, but she put herself out on LinkedIn, and she was talking about stuff she was doing, and so people are looking and connected with her, so you had sort of an exchange. I personally, and I'm not in HR, I think the whole resume thing, I mean, it has its purpose, but if you're out there, people will be looking for you, and you can build an exchange that I don't personally think a resume is.
Oh, no, I agree with you. We said that in one of my sessions the other day. Make your videos and post them on LinkedIn. Get a YouTube channel and really show the greatness that you are in the space that you want to be in. And I mean, videos, honey, have we not Snapchat? My son just got me on that Snapchat, honey. That's like, really big. So, people look at how you can really motivate, put your word out there, put you out there in a video. So thank you so much for that question. That's a great question.
Actually, I wanted to comment on that as you're walking back to your seat. That's why I turned the HR question on its side, because AI is not going away. So we have to better know how to utilize it. Take the job description, and I've done this for people. I'll give the example. You take the job description. First, you identify the job you want. Yeah. You can interview individuals that you are aspiring to work with or work for, and then to input that information into a generative AI, along with the job description, along with your resume, and let it regenerate a resume for you. Take out all the erroneous information.
I know what you're going to say.
That means your fake stuff. And make sure that it is an authentic resume. And because you have to learn how to work with the tool. AI is a tool, so you have to learn how to work with it, because it's not going away.
Okay, so I don't even know if you guys know who this gentleman is at the mic. I mean, somebody just did a shout out, Tyrone, so I'm just gonna say this is Tyrone. The reason why we're all here is this guy right here.
I'm Tyrone Taborn at LinkedIn.com. Please help me get over 25,000 more folks on and listen to this story. First of all, this is a fantastic panel.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely
Coming
fantastic.
from you, that means a lot, so thank you.
And it is such a critical discussion. We're talking about AI. We have a metaverse platform, STEMCityUSA.com. And it really is.
Woo! That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. These things are really built on blockchain and at the end of the day, when we talk about human factoring and technology, that's what a metaverse platform is really about. And it's also about producing ownership.
Yes.
Because right now in the internet, the only thing you can own is .com. All of the wealth is who owns the equipment. And as we move further, the real issue is who owns your digital, what agency do you have over your digital self? And it's going to have profound differences in healthcare, in how we interface with companies and social media. Blockchain is a real changer. So what we're doing is building a metaverse platform. on top of, obviously, blockchain. And this program right now sits on, it's a metaverse platform. You can go to STEM, Women of Color STEM, digitaltwin.com, WOCSTEMDEX. This whole thing is a digital twin. But here's my question about AI.
Yes.
When you have all of the knowledge in the world at your fingertips, the normal constructs of what is your social narrative, money, it doesn't really matter because data is the real security. So when we look at AI now, a lot of our discussion is how do you use AI as a tool to find an answer? My question to this panel, and please think long and hard about this, how do you use, if you have all of the data in the world at your fingertips, how do you use AI to come up with the right questions to ask?
Exactly. To Dr. Tabor's question, thank you, sir, for the, first of all, give him another round of applause, because he's the reason why I'm here. And I'm looking forward to my STEM city, Silicon Valley, which is coming online very soon. It is.
She did her own shout out.
Absolutely. So to that point, and thank you, sir, for mentioning this, because I haven't been able to talk about prompt engineering. Asking the right question. Do you know that prompt engineers make $200,000 a year for asking a question? Hello. So if you can come up, because as engineers, we think about the input and then we have the output. You're putting in the correct input to get your output. And the AI that we've developed, actually, we go through 5 iterations. You're continuing to ask those questions to get your proper output to develop your business, right? So it's the idea of formulating the right question, giving the right input. And we're using basic English, pseudocode, basic English to ask those right questions. So prompt engineering, look into it, play with your GPT. That's why I called it, it's a generative pre-training transformer. Play with it. You are actually creating it, and you're having the opportunity to contribute. Another point that was not mentioned was inclusion. Your voice will be heard. You are building that AI. So as you are building your prompts, you are creating an incredible environment that is more fair. Bias will be at least mitigated. The transparency would be there. So prompt engineering, thank you for the question, Dr.
So I want to say thank you to all of our panelists. Everyone who has a question, we want to answer all of them. So if you can head to the right of the stage, you can continue to talk to us, because now we have to transition this stage into another section of this program. So we would love to continue, so be sure to step over to the right. Dottie is going to return to the stage in just a few minutes so we can continue this program. And thank you so much for this opportunity and joining us at this fireside chat.
Let's give these amazing ladies another round of applause. I just love that. Wow, my goodness. What an incredible day this has been. The women who walked across the stage today are not just trailblazers in their fields, they are lighting the way to future generations, showing us that there are no limits in what we can achieve when we lead with passion, purpose, and a commitment to making a difference. As we bring this inspiring event to a close, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our honorees, presenters, and partners who made today possible. Your dedication to excellence and to fostering inclusivity in STEM is creating a legacy that will shape our future. To everyone in the audience, and some of you are my friends or new friends that I just met today and in the last couple of days, thank you all for being part of this celebration, and let's take the energy from today and continue to support and uplift one another as we embark on our own journeys of innovation and impact. Together, we're not just navigating the tides of change, we're driving them. Until next time, keep leading, keep inspiring, and keep breaking barriers. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today for the Breakfast with Leaders and Legends recognition ceremony. We hope you leave today inspired and energized by the incredible achievements celebrated here. Please remember to visit our networking lounges and exhibitor booths to connect with fellow innovators and explore more opportunities to engage in the world of STEM on STEMcityUSA.com. On behalf of our sponsors, partners, and the entire team behind today's event, we wish you a safe journey home. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.
applause resounds in this room, magic and achievement abound. Waves of transformation rolling through. Here to prove what dedication can do. Here to prove what dedication can do. Decades of recognition, changes we've known. Challenges and innovation in every song. Honor we stand as beacons, guiding light, facing the unknown, fighting the good fight. Fighting the good Powerful knowledge, challenges and praised, pioneering solutions in this changing space. Oceans of opportunity so fast, transforming the unknown future's cast. A testament to diversity's power, their achievements shining by the hour. Decades of recognition, changes we've known. Challenges and innovation in every song. Honor we stand as beacons, guiding light, facing the unknown, fighting the good fight. Fighting the good fight. With tales captivating, they'll inspire us all. Lighting a fire, breaking down every wall. Lessons learned, life's dance intertwined. In this vibrant journey, success they've defined.